guys were able to limit the Celtics to 40 points in the paint. How do you replicate and maybe even start to take away some of those shots from three as well?
We keep giving them wide open threes, so now they're not shooting at the basket. It's hard because, to take away the paint and take away the three-point line, the paint is one of the ways people get the three, and the three is one of the ways people get the paint. I think maybe one of the biggest things for us is to be even more efficient offensively. Sometimes those clean looks from three are the result of teams getting in the paint, and when you turn the ball over, it's really hard to defend. So just to be a little better, to tweak a few things. Some of the breakdowns, guarding, pick and roll, screening actions, all the different things they're doing in the half court result in open threes. And you kind of have to pick your poison if you're going to ever commit two people to a ball. If you trap a pick and roll, if you help on the post, they're going to end up with some open looks. So just got to do the best you can.
A couple years ago, Trae and the Hawks were, kind of up and coming, took the lead by storm, and almost got into within minutes to the finals.
Sure.
Now the expectations are a little different. How different is the pressure on Trae Young today than it was a couple years ago, and how's he handling that transition?
I think, first of all, to look at any short period of a singular year and use that to set future expectations is, flawed. And that's not to discount anything. It's just that I think you see that with every year circumstantially. There's injuries, there's people that get hot, there's matchups. You have teams that don't make the playoffs the next year. So that said, what the circumstances you're describing are real, and I think one of the things that has happened with Trae is that because he's been so good, over time people focus on you even more. They game plan for you even more, and so there's this process that you go through of kind of adjustment, improvement, adversity, improvement, and I think it's just an organic model, and you can kind of, if you take any one piece of time, it doesn't tell the whole story. And I guess that's why you're asking the question, and I think that's a challenge. It's not just Trae; it's really our whole team, and I think because he's as good a player as he is, that a lot of it goes to him. But what are we all doing, collectively, to get the type of results and to be the type of team we want to be?
I asked you a few times about Joe. This is my last one. He told me kind of his mindset about integration, kind of talking about things outside of basketball, and you've mentioned this too.
Joe
Mazzulla.
Jim Mazzulla. I saw Joe Ingles on TV last night. It sounds like Joe's talking. Joe talks to everybody, so not that he wouldn't talk to you, but he'd talk to you even if you didn't want to talk to him.
Yeah, so, vice versa.
So Joe Mazzulla, Coach Mazzulla.
Yeah, you've talked about kind of your interest outside of basketball. He talks to soccer coaches. He talks to a lot of people outside of the game, and tries to integrate those things kind of into his basketball philosophy. Is that kind of something you've done?
It is, and I'll take it. I think you can find ideas and perspective, and from not just people in other sports, but people in other walks of life. One of the challenges, I think, for myself, coaching the NBA, your life can become very siloed, and you hear a lot of people talk about balance. And I think when you're speaking about it in that sense, you're really talking about it on a personal level, which is something, if you ask a lot of coaches, you'll hear things like, I got to sleep more, I got to work out, we all fight that as people. So on a personal level, I think, being able to find things that indirectly make you better professionally, and then on a professional level, being able to find things outside of, your specific sport, your specific lane, and ideas and perspectives that, I think maybe the best example that is running that everybody can identify with that is Ted Lasso. There's something there for everybody. So it's not soccer, it's not football, it's not basketball, but there's a lot of threads that run through sport in general, and there's things you can take from it and lessons that you can learn and ways that you can get better, just by paying attention.
Quinn, we know you've been having one-on-ones with each of the players on the team, but DeAndre's been struggling a little bit offensively. What do you say to a guy like him? We saw you sit down with him a little bit.
Yeah.
There. So what are you expecting out of him from this series, and what do you say to him?
I think, one, his confidence hasn't wavered, and part of the challenge for him is there's a lot going on for him on the defensive end, and being able to expend as much energy and have as much responsibility defensively, and then also coming out on the offensive end. But he's capable of doing both. And I think one of the key things as you go through a series is you just kind of to be able to watch, how teams are playing you, where your opportunities are coming from. So to continue to try to put yourself in the best position you can, and for me to do that for him as well. And then some of it just play. There's sometimes we can overanalyze everything, and he's a heck of a player, and just keep shooting, keep playing, do the things you do, and there's some things we can tweak or do differently or do more of. We'll do that too. But I have a lot of confidence in him, and he's a fun guy to coach.
Kind of tagging on to that.
I got this, and I got to go.
You go.
Okay, thanks.